This is some surprisingly unexpected good news. There's a FOIA improvement bill that is on track for passage, but as always, there's a caveat which I'll get into. So the Senate this week unanimously approved bipartisan legislation aimed at strengthening the Freedom of Information Act. Right? Unanimously, the Senate of the United States unanimously approved something. Okay, and it's something good. Freedom of Information Act. As the current Congress, one of the least productive in U.S. history, could end on a positive note by sending the popular legislation to the White House. The Senate approved the bill despite early opposition from retiring Senator Jay Rockefeller, who had warned that it could harm consumer protections. What he actually did, he put a hold on it. Like I said, it was unanimous, so 99 senators wanted to pass it, or at least wanted to vote on it, and he put a hold on it for about a week. All right, to remember that. So in a joint statement on Monday, Senators Patrick Leahy, Democrat, and John Cornyn, Republican, who sponsored the Senate measure, called on the House to quickly approve the FOIA. Maintaining an open government is fundamental to our democracy, the lawmakers said, adding that their legislation would open the government to all Americans by placing an emphasis on openness and transparency rather than allowing agencies simply to hide behind exemptions. Representative Darrell Issa and Elijah Cummings, who sponsored the House bill, urged their House colleagues to approve the Senate version and send it to the president. They said in a joint statement Tuesday that the measure would strengthen FOIA, the cornerstone of open government law. More than 70 transparency groups have backed the bill, including Public Citizen, which applauded its passage. The measure makes important improvements that will allow groups like ours, fighting for the common good, to gain the information needed to better hold our nation's leaders accountable and ensure the rights of citizens are upheld, the group said in a statement. Rockefeller offered little explanation for why he changed his mind about the FOIA bill, saying vaguely during an interview on Monday that it's sort of the internal workings of the Senate, according to a Politico report. House Speaker John Boehner has not said whether he will schedule the measure for a vote, and his office did not respond to an email request for an answer on Wednesday morning. All right, so now I'm just going to show screenshots of the Senate and then the House version. You can pause the video if you want to read it. And I'll put the links down below too. So what I think happened was Rockefeller held this for about a week, a little less than a week, for no reason, apparently no reason. And then he changed his mind and released the hold for no reason. Now, when he was asked why, they said he vaguely said it's about the inner workings of the Senate. What I think it is the House is going to adjourn Friday. So Boehner has to either put it on the schedule tomorrow or Friday. And if he doesn't, it doesn't get passed. And then the new Congress will have to take it up all over again. So I really think that's the reason why Rockefeller held it, is because they don't want this thing to pass. Even though they're all voting for it, and they all say it's a great idea, and Obama says he'll sign it, deep down, you know they really don't want to pass this thing. They just kind of want everything to stay secret, and the people in their little club stay in their little club, and the rest of us just deal with the table scraps that we're given. So I think this is just a procedural way of saying, oh, well, it was held and we really didn't have time to do it, because the House version originally was passed in February of this year. February. And it's taken 10 months for the Senate to get around to bothering with it in the lame duck period. Excuse me, the cat's going nuts. In the lame duck period. So it was before it was even taken up by the Senate, it was held for a week. And now the House has 2 days to re-vote on it, to pass it. Seems like they've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off so that they don't have to say they voted against it, because who's going to want on their record they voted against the Freedom of Information Act? But if it never comes up for a vote, that's a completely different story, and I think that's what happened here. We'll see if Boehner puts it on the schedule Thursday or Friday. I mean, something that unanimously passes in the Senate is unheard of. And for the House to not vote on it would be just a slap in the face of this country and democracy everywhere. So let's see. Let's see if Rockefeller and the House are working together on this and it never comes up for a vote. Or maybe you'll be surprised and something that actually benefits the American people will get passed by Congress and signed by the president. Stranger things have happened, right?